Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about something very cool. We've got Martin adopting Wally Jr. Yesterday I was playing Wally Jr. and at some point in the match he said this. It is almost time for me to give Martin his daily wedgie. Now, Martin is dad. He's our dad of chess. He's the lowest rated bot on chess.com. And he's the person we all play to get our confidence up. So I take insults to Martin very, very personally. So I paired Martin against Wally Jr. Let's see if Martin can defeat the youngster. And ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to pay attention to for the first half of this match is Stockfish, the evaluation bar here on the side. Let's just have a look at it. So Martin started with e3. The Van Kruijs opening. Generally, if you play e3, you are going to play a Bond Cloud. But Martin doesn't do that. And Wally Jr. opens with h5. He's from the modern generation where we know you have to play h4, h5 to do anything good. And Martin responds with g4, and already is worse. G4 is classed as a mistake. But now we get a6. Okay. The half crab, playing any opening where you play both flank pawns out 2 squares is the crab. I suppose this is the half crab. There from Wally Jr. We have the knight coming out. And f5. Okay. Just offering a free pawn there for Martin, who doesn't take. He brings out his queen. I keep developing it to f3 and prefer a knight, or prefer to take the free pawn. And Wally Jr. hangs a rook. That rook right there is just hanging. If I can put on emojis, can't I? Yes, I can. So let's put on an emoji. That rook over there, it just dies. Can you hear that? Did it make a noise? Let's try that again. This is actually really cool. I should do this more. Yes, it did. Awesome. Okay, that square's also gone. Okay, but we don't get, queen takes rook. Instead, the queen slides back to g2. Okay, fine. Rook's still hanging. And Wally Jr. completes the pawn diamond, I suppose. We have a pawn diamond. Let's not forget that rook is still completely dead in the corner. And Martin brings up his king. Okay. Wally just continues to push pawns. He has not moved any of his pieces. Martin moves his queen again. Now we get take. The queen's under attack. And it flies across the board to take the rook. Martin's got the rook. He's up a rook now. Okay. Now he's going to convert. Or not. Okay. The knight comes out. That's a good move. a4. Fine. Attacking the queen side, I suppose. The knight gets attacked. And it undevelops to b1. That's fine. Rook h5, okay. Okay, c4. I don't understand it, but okay. Black's now better despite being down a rook. d6. Hangs the knight with check. You can block. And the queen hangs around. Okay, fine. Still fine. a5, okay. The pawn was under attack, so I suppose that makes sense. King d1. King d1. Okay. Pawn gets taken with check. We lose the bishop. Rook slides up. Another check. King slides over to f7. Martin is completely winning. He's dead. Wally mouthed off a bit too much, and here's dad to come administer a bit of a spanking here. King c2 though. Bishop develops. And Martin just hangs the bishop in one move. It doesn't get taken though. And the bishop slides back to g2. Okay. Queen slides over to b8. That's something. d4. Lovely move from Martin. Can't complain. Queen slides over to e8, offering exchange. Martin keeps attention. That's not the hanging of a queen, because the queen is protected by that bishop he nearly hung. Take, okay. Glad Martin saw that his queen was protected and that he didn't hang it. So, if he lost his queen, the whole game turns around. He takes a pawn that's offered, and Wally takes this one. You see he undermined the defense. That pawn was defending that square. Very good. I mean, he still lost. Martin's up 9 points of material. King slides back. And now the devastating move d5. So instead of playing d5, that pawn's also hanging. You've got to try and take as much as you can to reduce the material deficit. Pawn slides out the way now. And we offer another pawn. Bishop slides over. Like, guys, I'm going to be honest, some of these moves I can't explain. But that is a free pawn. And we hang the rook. That is just a rook hanging. It doesn't get taken though. Instead, we develop the knight to f1. The dark-squared bishop retreats. And now we take the rook. Takes back. Okay. Martin is now up 11 points of material. But his position is so poor, he's only up 7 points according to the computer. And that is probably because 4 of his pieces are on the back rank. You should need to start taking stuff and getting your pieces out. Okay. Rook sacrifices itself. Okay. Now it's 2 pieces against 4. You're only up 7 points of material, but it's plus 6 according to the computer. So, something. Knight develops. That's good. Targets the pawn. Can take the pawn. No. We give a check. That's fine. Now develop. No. Hangs the bishop. The most incredible thing about this is if you do this, you're up 5 points of material, it's still plus 5. Because that falls, that's weak, that's weak, that's weak. And you've got a rook. Like, you've just got a rook. But that would be too much for Wally. Instead, he takes the pawn. He sees this, but not this. I see why he's only 400. Okay, takes that. Rook slides over, hangs the bishop again. Bishop still doesn't get taken, we push a pawn. Wally just loves to push pawns. Bishop slides out the way now. Knight develops back to g8. Okay. Check. King slides up. Check. King moves forward. Bishop retreats. Hangs again, just by the way. And now you hang this and this. And miraculously, you're up 1 point of material, you're still winning. Like, this could have been the position. Like, you're plus 5 because you've got a rook, and what will actually happen is you go here, here, and you can take this and this, and this is a draw. That's how quickly Martin can lose this position. But instead of taking the knight, which got hung, or taking the bishop, which got hung, we retreat the king. Never too safe to hang the king. Now we attack the knight again. Knight gets out the way, gives a check, and look at that. Now we give a check to the king, we're forking, we're getting a pawn. King slides forward into a discovery. Our king slides up into its own discovery. You can play here for discovery check. I would play this probably. Because take. And you trade off the pawns. King slides even further. It's m5. Maiden 5 here. Martin doesn't find it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on move 42. This game goes a very long time. You're in for quite the video. So, there's a mate here somewhere. Like, you bring the rook, you give a check. There's a mate here that you can find. You just cut the king off and cut off his squares. You will mate this king. Instead, though, we take the pawn with a discovered check, which is, fine. And now we slide the rook over. We get our own discovered check, but we can take a free bishop. All Wally has is a knight and the hope that one of these pawns can become a queen. He has a knight and a prayer. It's not mate in 6. Martin will not find mate in 6. He sacrifices the rook. It's now m25. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can find mate in 25 here, God bless you. Really. The knight comes forward. And the next phase of the game, I'm just going to click the forward arrow because for the next 100 moves or so, like this game, we're on move 47, right? This game goes, if I scroll, 173 moves before something happens. So we're in for a long time. This is the equivalent of when you're playing your sibling, or if you're an adult with children, if you're playing a game of like FIFA, and it's 4-0 at halftime, and for the second half, all you do is you pass it around that they can't touch the ball. Like, you're winning, but you refuse to finish them off and you just pass it around and don't let them do anything. So all Martin does for the next few, like, hangs a bishop, just by the way, but it doesn't get taken. Don't expect any of Martin's pieces to disappear. We give a check, and all we do is we slowly, very slowly, and by so slowly I mean by nothing happening. So slowly my computer's beginning to lag. That's how slow it's happening. We just check. Sacrificing the bishop, but it doesn't get taken. Brilliant move, though. Actually, yeah. Gonna go back here. So this is a check. I'm gonna give this a brilliant move. Why is it a brilliant move? Because you want to play for 50 move rule. That's the only thing Martin's got to avoid here, is 50 move rule. And what that means, he has to take something, or push a pawn, and then the move count resets for him to finish the game. So he shuffles, and he shuffles, and he shuffles. And I'm going to click this as fast as I can. But it's just shuffling. He wins a pawn, so that resets the 50 move rule, because he took the pawn. And he gives a check, and he just chases this king around the board, trying to find a coordination. Rest assured, the evaluation never leaves M. There's always M in the evaluation. And we keep going, into move 80 now. Mate 10, mate 23, mate 21. It's always M. We just shuffle. Discoveries galore, checks galore. There's a check. Ladies and gentlemen, you're just going to keep hearing my mouse click. Eventually, as it approaches move 100, on move 100, Martin plays F4 to reset the move count. Because he is just toying. He said, you will not give me more wedges. You will absolutely not give me more wedges. I'm going to fast forward now to the next pawn push, F5. This is the position we reached. I thought there was a mate here. There's mate in 4 here, rest assured. This is move 120 odd, and eventually that pawn pushes all the way there until finally it queens. And you would think now that the game would be over. It's move 132, it's mate in 2. No, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely not. I'm here to tell you that this game ends, if I can find it, I'm going to skip forward to move 152. This is the position. It's mate in 4. The king, we last saw it over there, somewhere. It has got its way over there. But I bring you here because eventually all the pieces have been captured. Now, all Wally can hope for is a stalemate. And eventually, in what is probably one of the craziest ways, we lose the bishop. Now we've got to find checkmate with 2 knights. And we push the pawn. And eventually, our king comes in. We box him in. Check. The king floats up. The knight from E1. I don't know how the knight got to E1, but it did. Rest assured, this is never more than mate in 5. We protect the pawn, and eventually, look at this lovely configuration. You take, you have to give check, and eventually, on move 173, Martin, mate in 1, defeats Wally, adds him to his own children, adopts him, in chess terms, 173 moves when he was winning on about move, 49, 39. This is the position on move 39. Incredible. Unbelievable. Martin had mate for how many different moves, but eventually he gets the job done. It took 173 moves. He adopts Wally. Wally could do nothing. He got, beaten up a little bit. It's your younger sibling when you play them on FIFA. But Martin, we avenge his honor. Wally can trash talk all he wants. He can't trash talk anymore against Martin. Martin reigns victorious.